Hey everyone, welcome back to Pray Shop Cruise. My name is Itiri. I'm going to be recording this video in pieces as I'm able. I know I've been gone a long time and it's almost been a year since I went on the Carnival Mardi Gras. And I wanted to post my overall thoughts and opinions on the Carnival Mardi Gras before a year actually went by, and a year will be this Thanksgiving of this year. So I'll be recording this in pieces and pasting some footage together as I am able. Hope you and your family are doing well. These are some crazy times, and so things have just been busy. So I do have some notes that I'm going to be looking at here, and I'm just going to talk about the positive aspects first. I have down here that the room hallways were wider than any other ship, which is very true. When me, my mom, and pops were walking down the hallways of this ship, it was very spacious. The hallways were very wide. It was very easy and accessible if you had a wheelchair or anything like that. The best hallways on any ship, I think, between even Royal. The HVA system. It gets really cold really quickly and it gets really hot really quickly in your room. Their HVA system is on point, okay? Probably one of the best that we've witnessed. And my parents and I have had some HVAC issues on Royal Caribbean, okay? We were on Radiance of the Seas. Go check out that video. We had some issues, okay? Not on this ship. The room cleanliness. The rooms smelled clean every day after our steward left. I have mentioned on several of my Royal Caribbean videos that when those stewards go in there and they leave out, like sometimes you don't hear a vacuum cleaner, you don't smell, anything in the bathroom, like anything's been Clorox down or anything like that. On Carnival Mardi Gras, these stewards were cleaning, okay? They were cleaning. Now, my mom and pop's room and my room were connected, and the steward had an assistant. This was the first time I've seen this, where our room steward had an assistant, and he and his assistant were tag teaming our rooms, and our bathroom smelled like, cleaning solution, like they were cleaning. And we heard vacuum cleaners, and you could see vacuum cleaners down the hallways of this ship. Like, these stewards were cleaning, okay? So big ups to the stewards on Carnival Mardi Gras. The military honors. In my opinion, Carnival does the best military honorary events on the cruise ship, better than any other ship. On the Carnival Mardi Gras, they have a veterans lounge. I mean, they truly stand up for our veterans and like create spaces for them. And they have multiple sessions where they honor and talk about what the veterans mean for us. And I just think that's just top tier above any other ship. Let's see. Soft light in the bathroom. There's a soft light in the bathroom that stays on at night, so you don't have to turn on the main light. I'm so glad I wrote myself notes back then because some time has passed and I would have completely forgot about that. That was a very nice, luxurious touch. Let's see. The photo purchase area. The photo purchase area of Carnival Mardi Gras was large. And I have a note here that it was better than my experience on Royal Caribbean's Utopia, the Utopia photo lounge. So I have that note here. So Carnival Mardi Gras did way better with their photo lounge. So best singers out of all the cruise ships so far, Carnival Mardi Gras. Best singers. Special shout out to the Fats O Band. And the Colombian band in the Havana areas. I have a note here. I have a note that says the Fatso band was the best band I've ever seen on any ship. And hands down, it was. Spelled Fatso, I believe. They do have you can follow them or download their music on Apple Music, I think, and other platforms. Oh man, his voice was so old school and raspy and jazzy. I went and saw so many sessions of them while I was on the ship. I pretty much was going to hear them sing every night. Hands down, best singers. If you ever go watch my Celebrity Beyond cruise ship review, you will see that those singers were struggling on that ship. Okay, not on Carnival Mardi Gras. There's true talent on Carnival Mardi Gras when we went. The Carnival room steward was the best from this year and last year. He was cleaning. He was attentive. There was ice in our fridges every time. We didn't have to keep reminding him. He was quick to the draw. Just best steward from this year and last year on all of our cruises. Let's see. The waiter at the Italian eatery place, the best waiter. I don't have his name. Best waiter we've had. So attentive, so descriptive, asking us what we wanted. If we wanted to change something, it was easy. Just the service on this ship was top tier when we went. Shebang in the Italian. At Shebang in the Italian place on Carnival Mardi Gras, you can eat once for free and then only pay $8 to $10 to eat again. And Shebang was really good. So you can go to these specialty dining places for free for your first time. Just think about that. If you cruise Royal, think about that. Can you imagine being able to go to one of Royal Caribbean specialty restaurants for free first? Honey, that's probably one of the best features of Carnival Mardi Gras. And the food was delicious. Food was so delicious that we went back and paid for the Italian food experience. That's how good those restaurants were. Our fridges in our rooms, the ice did not melt in that fridge. The fridge was actually cold. I know there's supposed to be more like coolers instead of like bona fide fridges, but our fridge on the Carnival Mardi Gras, it was cold. It held water and it held ice. And let me see. That's all the positive aspects I have. I'm going to leave it here because I have to go out for dinner in a few. And I do have some miscellaneous aspects down here, so maybe I'll come back after dinner and do that. But stay tuned. Gonna come back and finish this off.
Wow.
Our man Scott doing the thing.
All right.
Load these heavy luggages.
This is not as bad as the other one.
Pops is the only light one.
Yeah, mine always be like that till I come back.
So we're waiting to be called on to Carnival Mardi Gras. We cannot board until they call our numbers. So this is just very different. As y'all can see, he's holding up Group C. So you can't go through until your letter is called. Walking the gangway. It's been a lot of walking, even walking up to the security piece. There's a lot of manual walking. If you have mobility issues and you're leaving from Carnival for Mardi Gras, get a scooter. It's not a joke. So we're about to officially step on the ship.
Tell us what's going on.
I just received my luggage.
And what time is it?
5:15. I have never waited this long. My dinner reservation is 5:30. Early dining is 5:15.
But we are going to the steakhouse tonight. That's the only saving grace for us right now. And they changed our dining time last minute, didn't they, Mom? It was supposed to be 6, and they randomly changed it to 5:30 without telling us. We got a notification, but we couldn't click it and open it. So now our dining time is 5:30.
Just got my luggage at 5:15.
But we are going to the steakhouse at 8 p.m. tonight, so tonight we'll give them a pass. Thanks, Mom, for telling the people.
Have a good afternoon.
Okay, guys, I'm back from dinner, and I'm going to record another piece of this. Under my notes, I have a miscellaneous section, so we're going to go through that next. Carnival Mardi Gras had cruise brochures. They were really nice. I saved them, and there may be a video clip somewhere in here that shows them, or a picture or something. I'm not sure with how I put these clips together. It's been so long, but I did save some of them somewhere. I don't have one right now here with me, but I do have them, and I love them so much that I saved them. And I loved looking at the cruise brochures better than I did the app. Speaking of the app, to chat in the app for Carnival Mardi Gras, you had to pay $5 a person. That was new to us as being primarily Royal Caribbean cruisers. I mean, we've cruised Carnival, of course, if you look at my channel, but we steered mainly toward Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, and we don't have to pay to chat on Royal unless that's something new, unless that's coming for them too. But, that was a turnoff. Hangers, the closet hangers. On Carnival Mardi Gras, they gave you a lot of closet hangers. So you did not have to ask for extra hangers or worry about having enough hangers. They gave you hangers for days. It was just very noticeable. Let's see. There was a room charge of $200 per room before you even take off. I think we were used to more so it being $99 with Royal, but maybe those prices are different. Maybe it's all the same, but I thought that was different this time. Let's see. The Sea Day brunch. Carnival is known for their Sea Day brunches. If you've never cruised Carnival before, when there's a sea day, meaning that you don't go to an island, Carnival will have sea day brunch in between like morning and lunch. And it's known for being really good. Excuse me. It's known for being really good in the dining room, I think it is. But service was really, really slow in the Carnival Mardi Gras for sea day brunch. It was really slow unless you got there like super early and sat down. It was slow. As far as Shaq's Chicken, now I enjoyed Shaq's Chicken on Carnival Mardi Gras. That's one of the things I was looking most forward to was Shaq's Chicken. My pops said that for him, they were a little bit stingy with the chicken over at Shaq's Chicken. They were a little bit stingy. He mentioned that they gave big biscuits, but there were only like 1 or 2 pieces of chicken when they gave out the chicken. I actually didn't eat from Shaq's Chicken as much as I thought I was going to. Pops may have eaten there more times than I did this particular trip. So keep that in mind. But the chicken is good. The sauce is good. And we did have a situation where they ran out of dishes. They ran out of serving like plates. And the line had to be a 30-minute wait almost for them to get plates back in there to be able to serve people. It was so random. Like, you just never know what's going to happen on a cruise ship. So be ye ready and pack your patience, y'all. Just pack your patience because you're going to need it. Let me see. Did I put something on the back here? Nothing on the back for miscellaneous. So next time I come back, we're going to talk about the negatives, which there's a long list of negatives on here. But overall, the cruise was great. I do have now that I'm looking at it, I got a lot of negatives. But I'm going to come back and discuss some things that weren't as great. Before I go for the night, another miscellaneous item I wanted to mention was the ironing board room. A lot of folks don't know, including myself. I didn't know until I saw it randomly on another person's YouTube. Is a couple that they were talking about like the secrets of, I think they were talking about like the secrets of Mardi Gras or something like that. And the only reason I knew to look for the ironing room was because they had mentioned it, and I can't think of their names right now. But there is an ironing board room, I think, on every floor where there are staterooms, and it's hidden though. Like, you've got to look up at the top labels that are at like the top of the ceiling when you're walking, and you can just miss it. Like, because even though it says like ironing room or whatever it says, you got to turn and it's like in this little cut. You just would never know. Unless someone told you there was a room where you could go iron for free, you would not know. You would miss this, okay? So my family and I, we did go into the ironing room. There's a clip before this part of the video where you see us go in. And it's really small. It's tight, but it's free. And we ironed. My mom and pops and I ironed. There was no one in there. We took our time. We closed the door. No one can see you. Like, you're really literally in a box. And they have the iron boards hanging up and like chained to the wall so you can't take it out or anything. But it was a great feature if you didn't want to pay for like that ironing or steaming service. My mom, she pays for the ironing and steaming service on cruise ships. But this time we tried the ironing room because we wanted to try it and we wanted to be able to talk about the experience. So if you go on Carnival Mardi Gras and you need to iron your clothes, know that there should be an ironing room on your floor wherever you are. So just keep that in mind. And hey, if you keep the secret to yourself, you know, you may be able to iron yourself without waiting in a line the whole trip, because there was no one in there when we went. All right, y'all, I'm going to try to record the remainder of this, the negative aspects. So, embarkation and debarkation. Embarkation and debarkation for the Carnival Mardi Gras going out of Carnival was the worst embarkation and debarkation my family and I have had on any of our cruise ships. With embarkation, there was a long way to walk. I think you saw some of that earlier in this video. I've been chopping it up, not doing a lot of serious editing this time around. So I'm a little crunched for time. But embarkation was a very long walk. If you have mobility issues, you know, make sure you get a scooter or something. And then debarkation was just chaotic. They made everyone wait in the casino, and then they forced everyone to take one set of elevators. And so the time to get on and off the ship was just crazy. People were carrying their luggage down steps, and because some people had to catch flights, and it was the most chaotic process I've ever witnessed, and it made this cruise experience it downgraded the cruise experience. It could have been possibly an 8, I would have given this, but for that debarkation alone, for that mess, I mean, I probably would downgrade it almost to a 7 or a 6 for that. I mean, I don't know. Carnival just needs to do better. If you're a Royal Caribbean cruiser, you know we don't have those issues. If you cruise Celebrity Beyond, we don't have those issues. They line you up, they walk you out, going a certain way. Everyone gets in and out smoothly and quickly and swiftly, especially if you're carrying your own luggage. These are for people who are carrying their own luggage. We just don't have those issues. And not to compare, but we got to compare because this is what this industry is about. And Carnival just needs to do better. Forcing people to take one set of elevators and wait. And then the elevators, and then some of there were two elevators that were not working. So it was a mob. Okay, and one cruise line you don't want to deal with mobs with is Carnival. And if you know, you know. So embarkation, debarkation, hands down, they probably wouldn't cruise this cruise ship again because of that, unless something changes. Elevators. Speaking of which, the elevators were small and cramped. There were long waits, and the elevators came up and down very slowly. This is probably the worst elevator situation my parents and I have been involved in. So just pack your patience. The buffet. I noticed very low ceilings. The buffet was choppy and in a lot of weird ways. There didn't seem to be enough food on the buffet. And some items like the bacon were being rationed out. So Carnival was having some issues with the buffet our particular time around. The app was horrible. It freezes horribly. You can't see anything until you board the actual ship. You have to pay to chat, $5 a person, which is weird. Like, we don't have that issue again on Royal Caribbean. Not to seem snooty, but what is going on with Carnival? Like, I don't get it. Toward the end of the cruise, the service did decline as far as like customer service and friendliness of the workers. You can tell they were ready to wrap everyone up and get us off. So the service started top tier and it did decline over time. Let's see. Ooh, child. The kids own this particular ship. Now, I don't remember having this problem on Carnival Sunshine, but Carnival Mardi Gras, the kids were running around loud during different times of night. Security had to come multiple times in multiple venues and basically snatch the kids up and tell them, y'all got to get out of here. The parents were allowing the kids to be rude to the crew members who were on the ship and to people in general. I have never seen this level of unruly kids on a cruise ship. And these weren't babies. These were kids 12 and up, teenagers and pre-adults. These kids were bad. Okay, so it was an experience. I had not seen this on any other ship, but pack your patience. Dinner times. our dinner times were moved without our consent in the main dining room. Like, they were just moved without our consent. And you got to watch your reservations because Carnival will move those too. But on Carnival Sunshine, one of my biggest problems is that the events were being moved in real time. So like you would have an event at 6 p.m., you'd show there and it'd be like, oh, this event was moved or this event was randomly canceled. And they're moving things in real time without telling you. That's been my experience. I'm a cruiser just as much as any other cruiser on here. So they have their experiences. I have mine. There were long lines everywhere. Now, you do have to pack your patience, during certain times of the year for cruises. This particular cruise, it just felt like the lines it was heavier than like our previous Royal cruises, our Celebrity Beyond cruise. We didn't seem to have this particular issue with the long lines and the slowness of the lines. I had seen other YouTubers talk about the lines on this cruise. What they are saying is true. The lines are long and they move slow. That's for your buffet, for your food, for your gift shop. I mean, everything. It's lines everywhere and they move slow. The service at the steakhouse was actually not good. And there was been so much going on in my life. I didn't even get a chance to leave the review that I wanted to leave, the survey. But the waitress was not friendly. They gave you a teaspoon of mashed potatoes. They gave us our food late. We were there way before some of these other couples. And we got our food, close to last. Very slow service. And I mentioned the steakhouse because I'm a steakhouse lover. So I go to steakhouses on all the cruise ships that I go to, and I like to compare them. This was hands down the worst steakhouse experience. The internet reception was not good for us at sea. The internet reception is a toss-up on any cruise you go on. This one was not good at sea. We struggled to get any connection, and we all had the premium packages. So the professional pictures, I was disappointed. I had the people who were taking your picture were not cognizant of if you had something on your face, something on your shirt, need to move your hair. They weren't telling you. They were just snapping pictures. So I was a little disappointed, and that kind of stopped me from buying as many pictures as I would have purchased. I have a note that says the sausage does not taste as good on this ship. That was just my personal opinion. There is port congestion on boarding day. It was a wild house out there. Again, that goes back to embarkation. Embarkation was just as chaotic as debarkation. Even how you had to park and get out and walk from your car. This is the only cruise and cruise line that I have dealt with this level of just chaos and disorganized chaos. It just was not smooth. It's like when you hit Royal and Celebrity Beyond, you walk straight one way, you're in, you're out. And you should have seen some of this in the beginning of this video of how that was. It's just not the same with Carnival. You're going to deal with just things that are not organized, which is why we don't cruise this cruise line often. The casino bank versus the room charge. We had some weirdness with this. I forgot exactly what that note was supposed to mean. There is a difference between what can show up in your casino bank account and your room charge, I think. I don't remember it enough to speak on it. The water temperature got really, really hot. That's not necessarily a negative if you like really, really hot scalding water. Just beware that, when you turn the knob to the hot water, it's going to burn you if you turn it too hot. Though this is the hottest water I've ever felt on any cruise ship. So, if you love scalding hot water, this is actually a good thing. But I just want you to be aware that the water comes out super hot when you're taking a shower. The elevator floor screen, let's see. It was kind of hard to see the numbers. I don't remember enough about that to talk about that. It's the downside of doing this so late. Another note I have here is there were a lot of loud noises when we were boarding the cruise ship because they were working on the cruise ship. So I think they were trying to fix things that were broken with screws and welding and all kinds of stuff like on this cruise ship. So just be aware of that. You're going to see and hear that. Kind of made us a little nervous, but it is what it is. The Broadway entertainment was so-so, just okay, but the other singers on this ship were really good. I think that's all I have on this this page from my notes. And I can't think of anything else right now. So overall, I would say Carnival Mardi Gras was a great cruise for us. We took a lot of pictures, made a lot of memories. The embarkation and debarkation put a nasty taste in our mouth. Those lines put a nasty taste in our mouths. This was our second Carnival cruise. We tried to do, one of the newer ones to give it the benefit of the doubt versus, we did the Rust Bucket, which was Carnival Sunshine. Carnival is just not the cruise line for us. It's just not the cruise line for us. But we probably will go back, on a third cruise just to hit Celebration Key, and, see what they're trying to do with that. But we're most likely going to keep it Royal and Celebrity Beyond. And I do plan to do the MSC Yacht Club experience. I had to cancel that this year due to a lot of personal issues going on. But MSC Yacht Club will see me. So eventually I will have some more videos coming. Stay safe. Stay uplifted. And, keep pressing your way. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. I do have another channel called Itiri TV. I'll link it down below. It's an experimental channel. Doesn't have a lot of followers, but I'll link it down below. So thanks for following, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully it won't be as long next time.